Hey, Matt. Thanks so much for
Hey,
being
Elena.
here. Thanks for taking the time to do this and to share a bit about your experience.
Of course, I'm happy to.
Thank you. So, can you tell everyone a little bit about you and where you were when we met, where you were at in your career?
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess for my entire career, I've worked in tech sales for the most part, and I've had a couple different roles, all somewhat similar and kind of lined up with each other. Um, and I guess because of that, I felt like I was a little stuck. I was actually very happy in my current role at the time, but felt like maybe there was a little bit more I could get out of a different role. Like I kind of wanted to see what else was out there just because I hadn't explored in a while. I was with my previous company for about 3 years. And just once again, I like kind of felt a little stuck. Um, and I felt like I was ready to make a move. I was confident that I could make a move, but I didn't feel like I really knew how. And I felt like you gave me a little bit of an edge when it came to my search and what the next thing was, right? And so as far as where I was confident I could make a move, but I was definitely stuck in how to actually go about doing that in a more strategic way than just applying for jobs, right? So
Yeah. Yeah. So, you were looking for, I think you're just looking for help with your resume at first.
mm, yeah, originally I was just looking for help with the resume. That's actually how we came connected. Is I was like, if I could just get someone to look at my resume, and then once I was introduced to you, and you told me that you could also provide coaching services around the entire process, and I heard what you had to say more about making sure that a job fits me and less like jamming myself into a job.
Yeah.
I felt like it made a lot of sense to work with you. That just resonated really well. And so that's when we decided to move forward. It was the best decision I made.
I love to hear that. Tell me a bit about what the process was like working together.
Yeah, so it definitely started with a decent amount of like getting to know each other, right? Maybe not like on a super personal level, but definitely getting to know each other, like what makes somebody tick. You're very good listener, so I probably talked your ear off plenty, but yeah, you just took the time to, I guess, get to know what I might be looking for, as well as actually evaluate what some of my strengths and weaknesses were, rather than just asking me what they were. We definitely went like a level deeper when it came to that kind of stuff to really, I guess, like understand more about me and less about like what I qualified for, right? Like more about me and what I actually wanted. Not necessarily out of a job, but out of life in general, and really prioritizing that and then yielding that to then move towards a career and a job that would be a better fit.
Yes, yeah, I love the way that you describe that because that's absolutely what I aim to do.
Yeah. And I guess at that point it was once we had discovered that part, then it came down to some like execution, right? So the actual resume itself, you and your team did such an excellent job. It's funny, like so much of resume writing, I feel like is um, someone's opinion of themselves versus having you guys in play. I felt like once again, like I had an edge because you were super objective as to what somebody would find attractive. And so once we were able to figure out the type of roles that I was interested in, and that would yield the biggest return, whether it was like from a work-life balance or compensation standpoint, we were able to target those roles. And build a resume towards them specifically. And working with you guys was super easy. I think I remember there was a session where you just asked me to like brag about myself and talk, and the entire call was recorded, and then you used that recording to then edit my resume accordingly. I thought it was a great strategy for doing that. Um, And yeah, it proved to be extremely useful. I had a very successful job search, to be completely honest.
Yeah, be completely honest. That's what this is for.
Yeah,
Yeah, I love the what you said about a resume is a person's opinion of themselves. I've never conceptualized it like that, but yeah, that's exactly true. And when you're trying to grow and make change, you need to step beyond your opinion of yourself and say,
yeah,
like, what am I disqualifying? What am I blind to that I'm really good at that I don't know is a strength because it just comes so naturally. It doesn't feel like a skill. It just feels like being me, which is good when you can find a job that's aligned with that. So yeah, going beyond the opinion of self and really saying like, what are the data points and objectifying a bit more, like what needs to be on here. So I love that analogy.
absolutely. And then we took that and we rolled right into applying it to the interview process as well, where then I went into all these different interviews and it was exhausting, of course, but a lot easier because I went in with a plan. Like I was much more proactive than reactive in each interview and how I wanted to come across and what I wanted to get across. Like I think a lot of people think of interview prep also as just like trying to think about what questions are going to be asked to you rather than no matter what the question is, like what direction, how do I want to project myself? And I think we worked on that a lot and like quite literally worked on it, like some role plays and writing some things out and just understanding, similar to the resume, like how I wanted to come across um, to fit those particular roles. Right. And so like targeting those roles. So I didn't really, take myself out of the running for any position, like keep myself in the running. Um, And then the other piece is like, I think working with you, I realized how overqualified I was for certain things. And the times that I didn't think I was qualified, you were able to give me the tools to kind of navigate those scenarios and those questions in a way that still proved that I had a lot of value to bring to whatever the role was. So I think that was extremely valuable in the interview process as well.
Yeah. Yeah, you're really hitting the nail on the head because I just had an interview coaching session actually. And I just said exactly that. It's less about giving the right answer to what they're asking or saying, like, what do I think they want me to say? And saying, what do I want you to know about me? And how can I craft a story around that and be prepared to say, here are all of the things I want someone to know about me by the end of the interview. How can I turn those into responses that can fit a number of questions? So then you're taking back the control over the interview and making sure that you get across what you want, because that can feel confining to people.
Definitely. I think it's one of those things that it does take a little bit of practice. And in addition to that, it takes a lot
Yeah.
of what we worked on was confidence. And in addition to that, it's like understanding that the what I was looking for was not that crazy and that every job interview I was in, there was always going to be another one. Somehow we were going to get there eventually. And it lowered the pressure in every job interview, which then projected. I was able to just like be myself in a lot of these job
Yeah.
interviews. Obviously, you're trying to steer towards getting the job, but we were definitely able to minimize the amount of pressure that I was feeling simply just because there was always going to be another interview. You gave me the tools to make sure that that was happening, and
Mhm.
once it kind of changed the game, I felt like I was in control, like I had my pick of the litter versus the other way around.
Yes. 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 And I think there was a distinct point too where you kind of made that mindset shift because I think I remember you verbalizing or saying something like that, and it does change everything.
Yeah, and then it got to a point to I guess bring it full cycle. It
Yeah.
got to a point where eventually I found something that I knew I really wanted that checked so many boxes and was going to be the perfect fit. And like we hit the gas and went for it, and the whole interview process went really well, all the way down. And then it came down to negotiation at the end. And I remember time was of the essence, and I messaged you, and you jumped on the phone with me, and we kind of knocked out the strategy for negotiating. And I was able to get like maybe 10, 15%. I can't quite remember how much specifically, but I was able to get a decent chunk of change more in my compensation, strictly because I had you in my back pocket. I had a weapon in my back pocket to talk through how to finish off the process.
Yeah, I think so. It was 10 to 15% more than what they were offering. Is that right?
Yeah, at the initial offer came in, and then I was able to bring it up 10 to 15% more. As far as like the increase off of my previous role, that was very, very significant. That was probably upwards of like 40 or 50% increase
Yeah, pretty incredible.
in overall compensation.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's fantastic.
So that was good. And then we continued on. Actually, it didn't end there. You would think it ends there, but actually, just in the beginning of this call, we were talking about how things have been going since I started at my new role. You stepped in and helped me out with like setting some goals and making the transition, and that I would say is arguably life changing in the ability to set goals in an efficient way to where you actually start hitting them, and I am hitting them, which is obviously puts you on cloud nine. So the overall experience has been couldn't recommend enough. It's been unbelievable, and I have recommended other people as well, and will continue to. And I appreciate everything you've done for me.
You. Yeah, and you said what percentage of your goal did you just hit?
Yeah, so I had a goal that was, we'll call it 100%, and I hit 125% in comparison to that goal.
Incredible.
So thank you. Yeah, it's been good. The whole experience was awesome.
Yeah. And I mean, this is why I do what I do for, to hear stories like this, because it's just incredible, not just the career success and doing well at your job, but like you said, the life success and allowing your career to build a life, because your career is intended to build a life that you want. And people look at it not like that at all. So, and you're actively doing that and you're seeing it in that way. And it's just so heartwarming to me to see that.
Yeah, I think it's a process, right? And I think there's a lot of I feel like I could do it myself out there. And I think that's tough. I think it's tough to do something so important totally on your own versus seeking out like professional help, like all day, every day. This is what you're doing. You're coaching people in their lives on how to make them better, how to make sure that they're happy, all those types of things. And rather than me trying to figure it out on my own, bringing in a pro was definitely the right thing to do.
Yeah. Just like you do for fitness, personal training, health, nutrition, right? Same thing. So
Same thing.
cool. Any other results or positive outcomes that you didn't already say that you would add? Or is that it?
I'm sure I could think of more if we had more time. But I'll probably cap it there and leave you with, if somebody's watching this video right now, you should absolutely join one of Elena's programs. You won't regret it. It's one of the only times I feel like I've said that. I've tried a lot of programs. She's by far the best return on investment I've ever made.
Thank you. I don't know if I knew that.
Yeah,
Cool. Anything else you would add about anything at all?
that's it.
All right. Thank you. This is awesome. I
Of
really
course.
appreciate it.